I would never expect something like that happen. So I just asked my Telegram community, the place where I share a free value, if they know how to trade the SK system. It was shocking. From 58 votes, 22 people have no idea how to trade the SK system and 22 people are not sure how to trade the SK system. So in this video, we're gonna change that. As always, boys and girls, make sure to click the like button, to subscribe, and turn on notifications. The reason why the SK system is so damn good and why it's so widespread throughout the nations, throughout different cultures, it's been taught now in 11 different languages is it is reproducible. So what I mean by that, it is based on a set rule set. And that also means that we have set areas where we enter or trade. So in this video, we're going to talk about these rules, how you trade the turning areas, what are some things you actually need to take a look at, and what are some things you should never do it. So make sure to grab something to write and let's get started. So there are three different ways how we can actually trade the SK system. So there's something called adaptive trade strategy, a one trade, and the multiple. The most used one is the multiple. So let's start with that one. So when it comes to multiple, the one thing you have to remember, you're either going to have a 20 pip stop loss or a 15 pip stop loss. So every single pair that starts with Euro or USD is going to have a 15 pip stop loss. Every single pair that doesn't start with Euro or USD is going to have a 20 pip stop loss. That means, for example, Euro USD, 15 pip stop loss. USD CAD, 15 pip stop loss. GBP NZD, 20 pips. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, 20 pips. You guys, I hope you understood. Trading multiple. How it works is that you actually enter at the 50% at first. So you go from 0.5, you enter here, let's say with 20 pip stop, like that. Then you can do exactly the same thing at 55.9, like that. There you go. And then you're going to do the same thing at 61.8, the 20 pips here as well. And the last one, again, the 20 pips. So it's pretty simple. This is how it works. You just basically enter at each level, either 15 or 20 pips. So there's some advantages and disadvantages for that, but let's first take a look at the other strategies. So the other strategy is going to be adaptive one. Adaptive one works like you start from 0.5, again, the same entry. You always going to be looking at entry at 0.5. You go from there all the way to 66.7, and now you're going to add either 15 or 20 pips, depending on the pair. Let's say in this case, it's going to be 20 pips. So you're going to have a one trade starting from 0.5 all the way to 66.7 plus 20 pips. In this case, it's going to be like somewhere around 100 pips. There we go. This is, for example, how the adaptive one would look like. And then we have the last one, and that's the one trade. So the one trade is you enter the 50% and your stop loss is going to be somewhere below the 0.78.6. We don't have a set measure for that. For the one trade, you can just make something up for you, what works for you. Let's say you take from 78.6 plus 10 pips. So in this case, it's going to be 115 pips. So yeah, this is pretty much how you trade every single strategy. Each of these strategies I just showed you, they come with their advantages and disadvantages. For example, the multiple one, the one with the tightest stop loss, it has the highest risk reward ratio. It's going to have the shortest time you're going to hold a trade over, for example, the adaptive one or the one trade. And the time required to manage those strategies will be much lower than, for example, the multiple one. So you have to decide what works for you, what works for your, let's say, circumstances, the job, and everything else you have, and just take a look what fits you. Let's take a look how it works in the live market example. So here we have a nice sequence with activation all the way there. So it's not finished. So we take the BC as we learned in the previous videos. So if you haven't watched those, go ahead and watch them. Now, this is how we trade it, right? So we would enter we would draw the BC and we would enter the 50% like we just learned. So like that. There we go. This is GBP NZD pair. You can see it up there. So it's going to have a 20 pip stop loss. Now the market hits the 50% and then stops you straight ahead out. What happens next? You are in from the next trade right there at 55.9. So you are in the trade right there. So then the market goes all the way up. And this is, guys, when you take a note, is one rule we have in SK is when the market goes twice as far as your stop loss, in this case 40, this is where we go break even. That means you would have this trade now at break even at this point when the market went from here all the way up there with a nice 40 pip profit. What happens next is then the market comes all the way down, so it stops you out break even and goes straight to the 66.7. So it stops you out as well as at 61.8, and then you have the 66.7. So in this case, if you would draw the stop loss from 61.8 all the way down here, you would see it overlaps with the 66.7. If that's the case, you have two opportunities. The first one is you just go to the, like we did adaptive one, right? We just add the 20 pips like that. So it's going to be 35. That's the one way. Or we shorten that and then we enter again at 66.7. So let's say we shorten that. So now we have this one as a stop loss hit as well. And we have the 20 pip stop right there. So the one rule, once again, with SK is it should be at least 1 to 3 risk-reward ratio for us to consider closing a position. So what does it mean? If you risk at 20 pips, we want to get at least 60 as a bare minimum. So now the market hits the 66.7, then goes up all the way. So at this point gives, let's say, 100 pips. That's nice, 1 to 5, right? And then falls again. So the market keeps running until, there you go, it hits this sequence target. So at this point, we know what we learned. We go with the whole correction, correct. So we go with the whole correction like that. And this represents our next interesting area. So there we go. The market then creates even a higher high. So we have to adjust it like this. And the same game begins here again. So let's make the same exact example. This time we're going to actually be trading not the multiple, but adaptive one. So we're going to enter at 50% like we just learned, go all the way to 66.7. And then we take 140 in this case, plus 20, that's 160. Quick math. And voila, this is going to be our stop loss for the trade. So the market hits our area and then goes up nicely. So this, guys, is how you trade the SK system. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, join the Telegram channel, and we see us next time. Peace out.